I am great. It's so great to be back today. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's great to have you back. Heather is traveling, so we have Aiden helping us today, and he'll be reading questions, which is always fun. How was your weekend?
It was great. I had a lot of people around me, so it was interesting dealing with a lot of different energies and a lot of faces and a lot of different people. So it was good, though. How was your weekend?
Yeah, mine was good. I got home from Canada on Saturday. Canada was amazing, the nicest, kindest, most amazing people everywhere. So I definitely enjoyed my time there and the people that I was on the retreat with. Just beautiful, beautiful souls. And yesterday happened to be the 2 year anniversary of my life partner's passing. And so it was always a really, it's interesting, right? Because I think a lot of times people think that because I'm a medium, I have a way to bypass that grief or that human experience. And so what I like to share with people is I don't. I do not have a way to bypass the human experience or the grief. Do I have maybe some more tools than other people have or some connections that I use more regularly? Absolutely, but I would just say that this is part of what we signed up for is to experience the heavy parts of being here on earthly life as well as the joy, the laughter and the love.
Yeah, that is so profound, and I think that a lot of people can relate to grief. Whether that be someone that was really close to them or someone that they knew in the past, and it's interesting learning about you being a medium and a psychic, and knowing that you're still just like the rest of us. You might be more connected to spirit on the daily or more talking to it on the daily, but you still have to experience those human emotions that we all we all have to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give a shout out to my friend Tiffany Green. She is here in the Phoenix area, and we are going to add her link and her website. I had never had a healing session with her before, but it felt very appropriate that I do that yesterday. It was phenomenal. I literally walked in feeling so emotionally and mentally just kind of broken and shattered. And I left feeling like a new person. I mean, this woman is one of the best healers I have ever had a session with. So we're going to add her name. She does remote sessions, she does in person sessions. I cannot thank her enough. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And when I was thinking about it yesterday, and one of the things that she pointed out, and this is something that's important for all of us to know, is that we can be going through the process of deconstruction and reconstruction at the same time. So, whether we are deconstructing things in our life, thought patterns, relationships, work, whatever it is where we live, we can also be in the same process of reconstruction at the same time. So we can be healing and moving forward. And that is something that I think a lot of people really need to tune into. You can be both. It's not about waiting until the day that you're healed or that this situation is perfect. Like there's joy, love, laughter, companionship, things that are here and present for us in our daily life if we'll let ourselves receive it.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I put her website in the live chat, and I also put her website in the description of this video. So if you guys want to go check her out, the link is in both those places.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you. And just to wrap up on Tiffany, and then we'll start into questions. Once again, saying that I still have these human experiences. Even I go to people that are healers to help me realign to connect to my true frequency and vibration. And so I think it's important for people to know that. I am excited to get to questions today, though. It feels like it's been a minute since we've gotten to do this.
Yeah, I'm so excited too, and we have a lot of questions to get through. So, shall we start?
Let's go.
So people have asked for an angel message. So why don't we do an angel message for the collective for this week?
I love that. That's beautiful. Okay, give me just a second to kind of tune into what this is. Okay, the first thing that I'm feeling, the word that they're showing me is forgiveness. And they're talking about this not so much as just being towards forgive your neighbor, forgive that person, all of those things, but how many times a day they're saying we need to forgive ourselves because we're emotionally or mentally beating ourselves up and carrying baggage. I didn't do this, I should have done that. Whatever these things are that we're saying to ourselves. Spirit has been really clear to me when we talk about forgiveness, and this is what they're wanting me to share with you today, that it's not about what you did is okay to me, because there are a lot of situations that happen that are not okay. But forgiveness actually comes in this idea of saying, I'm laying this baggage down because it's too heavy to carry. I don't want to carry this anymore. When we think about the anger, the resentment, the whatever it is that we're carrying around that, it is literally taking up space in your energy field. It is taking up space in your life, and it is robbing you from joy to some extent. So think about the things that you need to give yourself more grace and love for, and the people in your life that it's not that you're saying that's okay that you did that to me, but you're just saying, I'm not carrying that bag anymore. And that's really what they're showing me. They're showing me the word. I want to just explain how it looks to me. It is brilliant gold, and it's outlined with like this shimmering white. And so it's really coming in on a pure vibration. And just for all of us, whatever it is, give yourself forgiveness today and people in your life.
Okay, thank you. Our first question is from AM. So, dear Michelle, would it be in my highest good to pursue a degree in the art, science, and spirituality of water, or is there another direction that would be more aligned with my path at this time?
Ooh, I love that. That's a great question. And I just got a big thumbs up. So that feels like it is in alignment with where you're going. The truth is that the more we learn, the more we're finding out water carries its own vibrational frequency. So you can actually, there are studies about this, say words over water. You could say peace and love, and it changes the molecules. They look different than if you say words like hate or anger. So it responds to our vibrational frequency that we are putting into it. And this is going to be part of the healing that comes in the future. You know how a lot of times I grew up, we had to say grace before dinner, right? You bless the food. That actually really works. And it's not because we are, asking God's source divine to bless it. That does, happen. But what's happening is we're changing the energy that we're eating it with or drinking it with. The water frequency feels very important for this person.
Yeah, and I'm going to practice with my water. I'm going to give it a hug before I drink it and just put the good energy into it, and hopefully it'll put the good energy back into me.
I love that. It will. And that's a great idea.
Okay, our next one is, thank you so much for sharing your gift with us. Any insight on the traumatic vacation my sister and I just experienced in a foreign country with my aunt and uncle?
Yeah. Okay. The first thing I heard was lessons learned, lessons learned. So they're showing me literally red flags. So I think that part of this was about learning to trust your intuition, because I feel like there were red flag warnings that people were ignoring. And so this was an intuition thing. The other thing that I'm being told is that on a deeper level, there was going to be, they're giving me the words like, I want to say these things. It feels like, yes, there's fallout. So whether that's emotional or mental, because I feel very shaken by this experience. But what happens is you all move out of this stronger and wiser. This was part of an experience that was meant to be shared with in a group, so that you will have that to bounce off each other, or what the guides are telling me. I would just say this: trust your intuition, because the way they started was showing me red flags. I think those were there, and you chose to step forward and have this experience anyway. A few weeks ago, we talked about how intuition whispers and fear roars, right? So we've got to really get in tune with paying attention to the whispers within us. I just heard the guide say to you about this, all is well. So please know that this situation, the overall energy of it is well, and you're going to continue to proceed in a beautiful way.
Perfect. Okay, our next question is, it's been a year since my sibling passed away and I can't connect with them no matter what. Can you give me one message for them?
Yeah. And I want to talk about that, though, connecting with our loved ones, for just a minute before I go into that message. I'm seeing so many pairs of shoes. So I don't know if your sibling loved shoes, but I'm seeing all of these shoes, and I'm hearing, I was going to talk about the grief, but hold on. I'm hearing, I'm taking each step with you. I'm taking each step with you. And I'm being told to say, keep looking down. So there's like I'm seeing feathers, coins, I'm seeing signs that are maybe being missed, but I feel like they're lower. And then when I look up, what I'm seeing is a shooting star. So I feel like there are signs that are above you and below you. Um, and I want to say to you very clearly, don't be afraid to take the next step, because this is really your sibling coming in with that love and that energy for you to move through this process. So, with this being said, when we are in grief or angry or depressed or whatever this is, it's a lower vibrational energy. So sometimes it makes it really challenging to have the dream visits or see our loved ones or connect with them in those ways. One of the things that is really helpful is to do something that makes you laugh, whether it's watching your favorite comedy, hanging out with your best friend, whatever these things are that raise your vibration. And then we start to connect to them easier, because they have to lower their vibration to connect with us, and we have to raise ours to connect with them. The other thing that I want to say about this is I am just seeing this lamp that keeps flickering, or this light that keeps flickering. So that your sibling is definitely playing with your electricity too. Um, and I'm being told to say, but you want like concrete proof or evidence. And so it's like a lot of times you'll get a sign and you'll be like, oh, how do I know that was for me? And you want to brush it off. But trust me, your sibling is working really hard to give this to you. When we're looking for our loved ones in spirit, I also want to say this real quick. We are looking for them where they are now. So remember, when we leave this world, we get to graduate into our higher self, our cleaner self, our energy's better. So if you are looking for somebody who was energetically, physically, mentally, whatever, sick, and you're expecting to find that vibration in the heavenly realm, you're not going to find it, because that is the person's soul being whole and healed and in a different energy. So when you're looking for your loved ones, look for the brightest, best version of them, and do it with as high of a frequency as you possibly can, because that makes the connection even more clear.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And we have 64 people in the chat, which is amazing. Um, Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up. It really does help the channel and boosts the videos up for other people to see. And so let's try to get to 60 thumbs up today. Let's see if we can do that.
That would be awesome.
Okay. Our next question is from Chris. How am I uniquely designed to serve others spiritually?
Ooh, I like that. That's a great question. So there's a couple things that I'm seeing. They're showing me like literally a swan. So there's this energy of like, but the swan that I'm seeing, it's on the lake, but it's getting ready to like, I don't know, I want to say rise and spread out like its wings and its feathers. So you're right at this cusp of getting ready to really step into who you are. When we go to the question about like, how do I uniquely serve, this is going to be based on your life, because each of us have different soul plans and we have different experiences that we've had, how we've moved through them, how we've overcome them, and how we can help others. So what I'm going to tell you, look at your life, look at the patterns in it that you were able to see and break. And then what you want to do is you want to realize how you can bring those tools to others to help them really be divinely guided through the life and challenges that they're in right now.
Perfect. Okay, our next question is, I made a great friend this past year, but they moved away. We were still gradually growing our friendship, and now we just text. Why do things like this happen, and do you see our friendship evolving in the future?
Okay, I'm going to say yes. I feel like the connection continues to evolve, and things like this happen for multiple reasons. Now, I do feel like this connection goes on, so I want to say that before I get into my next thing. Everyone comes into our life for a reason, a season, a lifetime. Okay, and when we know that, sometimes people come in to show us that that level of friendship is available, that there are people out there that we can connect with in that way, whether it's a romantic partner, a job, a friend, whatever it is like that. And because of that, that soul, that individual that we love, whether it's a family member or friend or whoever it is, they have their own soul plan. I do not feel like your soul agreement with your friend is over, but there are times in this life where our soul agreements are complete. And as humans, we very often overstay. And so that's not what I feel like in your situation, but this is why not everyone is meant to be with us our whole life. Think back to kindergarten, like whatever, you had 30 kids in your class. Could you imagine if every single one of those kids and people in all of your classes this time were meant to go with you through your life? At some point, it wouldn't be as clean and streamlined as it needs to be right now. So I do feel like you have more friendships coming in. This person was meant to show you that it's available and possible, because I want to say that the energy I'm getting, and this feels like it's coming from a grandma figure, is about putting yourself out there more. So allowing yourself, so often, if we allow ourselves to say, if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. If it happened once, it can happen twice. We are now giving the universe more energy. And so again, friendships, partnerships, whatever it is, if you're wanting to get pregnant, when you see somebody who is in the relationship that you want, don't be like, oh, it can happen for them, but it would never happen for me. Shift it. If it can happen for them, it happens to me. Because then what you're doing with law of attraction, you're bringing in the energy where you're saying, I see you, universe, and I know it's available.
Wow, I love how sometimes we answer questions that, can benefit everybody as a whole. And, I think that one really resonated with me.
It does.
um,
It does, because we tend to get down on ourselves. Like, everyone's pregnant but me, or everyone's in love but me, or everyone has a new house but me, or whatever our stories are, right? But when we start to realize that if it's possible for one, it's possible for all. The other thing about this life is we find what we're looking for. So if you want to get on Google and look for every terrible news story around the world, you're going to find it. If you want to get on there and you want to start looking for every beautiful story, every happy moment, you're going to find it. So we have to be attuned to what we're vibrating with and what we're looking for.
okay, perfect. Okay, our next one is from Maya. Hi, I'm currently a yoga teacher and wanting to grow my career. I do energy work and have always wanted to combine the two. Maybe a life coach, a therapist. Any thoughts?
Yeah, for me, I feel like you're moving into life coaching more, because I see you almost holding retreats, and obviously they feel like they would be very holistic. But what you're able to do with the things, the gifts you have available to you from the guides, is really help align body, mind, and spirit energy in people through movement, through breath, through knowledge, and all of that. And so this feels like what you're stepping into now. They're showing me almost like I want to go to the middle of June next year. So I think about that point in time is when all of these pieces start snapping into place. But between now and then is when you're supposed to be dreaming about it, manifesting it. And I really see it as retreats. Even if it's a 1 day retreat, it doesn't mean everyone has to pack up and go to Sedona or Lilydale or something like that, right? But it can start as 1 day retreats, and it feels like it moves into longer periods of time.
Okay, perfect. Um, Angela has a great question. How do I know if what I hear in my thoughts is from my own thoughts or from spirit?
Okay, I love that. Here's how I know this, and the easiest way I have to describe it. When I'm talking to myself, I am saying, I've got to get this done. I've got to get to the grocery store. The dog needs to go to the vet, right? I have my human story that I'm kind of running through in my head. Or when we get in situations where we're frustrated about a conversation, right? And we're like thinking about what I should have said, what they said, and we go down this whole rabbit hole. When spirit comes in, the messages literally to me feel like they come from the outside in. So I can feel where it comes from. And it might be as simple as I'm driving down the street going to the grocery store and I get a message, call so and so. And I'm like, where did that come from? That was not in my mind or my energy field. So be aware of that. The other thing that I will tell you is spirit is always going to speak to you with love and light, even when it's things that we don't want to know. So when we are receiving messages that feel bad or heavy or whatever that is, a lot of times that's our mind giving us that story, because spirit is going to give it to you with love, light, and compassion. So notice where it's coming from. And a lot of times also the voice has a different feeling on it. So we're still hearing the voice in our head, but let's all focus for a minute when we're talking bad to ourselves. Like, I wasn't good enough. I should have tried harder. You can feel that energy with that voice in your mind. When the energy from spirit comes in with a voice, it's going to feel like a butterfly just floating through, gentle, soft, easy.
Okay, our next question is from Pam. Both my daughters suffer from fibromyalgia. Has trauma been a factor in this, and what advice do the guides have to make it easier and better for them?
Yeah. The question was, has trauma been a factor?
Uh-huh.
And I got a strong yes. So I want to say there is trauma that has been a factor in this. Let's talk about that for just a second because we have mental, emotional, and physical trauma, right? They're not being specific with me on which type of trauma it was, but we've talked about this a little bit before. We have an energy field around our body. So if I am carrying grief in my energy right here for 25 years, it is going to start showing up on my body somewhere. So the answer is yes, there is some trauma around that. The other thing that I want to tell you is, again, like my friend Tiffany that I mentioned earlier, healers are amazing. It's really important to go to good healers, okay? And they're not all good, but Tiffany is amazing. We've talked about Denise Knudsen before. She's I Am One with the Universe. If you want to go to her website, what they help us do is align body, mind, and spirit. And when I've asked spirit about miracles and healings and all of these things that we call them in our human form, spirit says, Michelle, we call them happenings. They happen when you are in alignment, body, mind, and spirit. And so what happens very often, if we go to someone for a healing session, they are helping us align so that we can receive that healing frequency mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And that's really where I'm feeling. So I do feel like your daughters have a lot of room to heal here, but there's almost like an alignment energy that I see spirit showing me they're in need of.
Perfect. Okay, so we have a few questions about trying to get into a state to really hear our guides and how can we connect with them even more.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. I have a life guides course on my website that's already pre-recorded. I think that it's a 5-week course. So I'll be coming out with another one in the future here at some point in time. That's something that you can purchase and do on your own time. But I want to say, don't overcomplicate it, right? With that course, what we had is we had people really connecting in and learning the names and all of that. So number one, our guides aren't really worried about if we know their name or not, because I like to say, think of them as puppies. Like your puppy doesn't care if you name it Fred or Roxy or whatever, right? Your puppy's going to respond to what you call it. So this is part with our guides. Don't overthink it. The other thing is we want to do it in a playful energy. So it's kind of like, okay, life guide, I'm driving to the grocery store today. Wouldn't it be fun to see an elephant or whatever? Play with it. And then all of a sudden there's a billboard that has an elephant on it, right? So what we're starting to do is we're connecting that soul path, that soul connection to our guides more. They are very connected to you. They know what's going on in your life. It's just we're clearing our own channel to connect with them. So I'm going to say play with it, and I'm going to say do it regularly. So it's more important to do it in a playful energy than to sit down and try to meditate. Meditation does work for people if your vibration is, in a good space.
Okay. Our next question is, my son is separated from my wife due to indifferences. He is struggling with work. Will work and love turn around for him?
Um, okay, there's a couple things that I'm hearing from the guides right here. That absolutely that possibility is available to him. They're giving me the words that he's stuck in his story. So whatever, and I want to say it feels more like in connection with your wife than with work. Let's talk about this for a minute. We all have a story that we write around everything in our lives. I was loved, I was unloved, you hurt me, whatever our human stories are. And I'm not saying that it didn't feel valid at the time, but there are times where people like to stay stuck in their stories. And when they do that, it's actually prohibiting their growth on a soul level. And what I want to say with his relationship with your wife, because this feels like the stronger, I want to say it feels like it's holding him back more. There's something about that story that he needs to shift for himself so that he can actually step forward into who he is. Work is going to pick up, or the opportunity for work, in the next 3 months. The emotional part of that connection with your wife is going to take longer, but he has to want it to get better. And for some reason right now, I don't feel like he wants that.
Okay, we have a few questions about romance. And I don't know why I did that, romance.
Oh, I love that. You're just adding a little more personality. So thank you.
So our question is, I have been single for a long time. Do you see a potential romantic relationship for me this year? And we've had a few questions about that. So maybe go into more about why does romance come into our lives and why does it take a long time sometimes?
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's talk about that. The answer is A blanket, yes. Every one of us has the ability to have soulmate energy come in, a vibrational match. You're not here destined to not have that. But the challenge is we have to get ourselves to the place where we want to be the vibration of the person that we want to attract. The other thing that I'm going to say, I see a lot with at least two people who put this question out there, because I feel that energy. There's a push pull. It's like we just want that loved one, that, life partner to show up on our front door and be like, I found you, I'm here, and it doesn't just work that way. We have to put some effort out into it. So the answer is, for these questions, yes, but think in terms of vibrational match, because you want to be the partner that you're wanting to attract. So what does that mean? Do you want someone who's outgoing, someone who's fun, someone who's loyal? Okay, time to be outgoing, fun, and loyal. But you have to do it from a place of authenticity, because you can't lie about the vibration. Like when we see people and you're like, how are you today? And they're like, oh, I'm fine. And you can feel like the weight, they're not fine. That energy is the true vibration. It's not like the face of being like, oh, I'm fine, everything's great. So become who you want to be with, right? In that way, vibrationally, then you attract your partner easily, really easily. And don't be afraid to put yourself out there, whether it's dating apps, meetup groups, hanging out with friends, even letting your circle know that you're ready to start dating. I have found so many people who've been like, yeah, I just started telling my friends and their husbands, and I'm ready to start dating. And then people start showing up. So think about open energy. Dating apps do work very often, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we are literally saying, I am putting my energy on the grid. I am putting myself out there. I am online, right? And so it's not that it's always just the app, but energetically, we've just put ourselves on the grid.
Okay. We have a question that says, I live in West Palm Beach, Florida. Do my guides see my 100-year-old house surviving this hurricane season?
I got a yes. It was a real quick, strong yes.
That's great. Okay. I am ready to make a bigger impact with my Tracescapes online membership, but I am finding it challenging to build momentum online. Any guidance would be greatly appreciated.
What kind of membership, please?
Tracescapes?
Okay. So when I write the name down, it's going to be connected, because I wrote that down. And what I heard is it's connected to your energy. Okay. And this is something that I see very often with people. We have these great ideas and these things that can help people, but then we feel like we almost have imposter syndrome behind the scenes, right? Like, oh, this will work for everyone but me, or these stories. So what I'm seeing is aligning your energetic vibration to match the membership that you want to share. When we show up with confidence and we know that what we're giving people or sharing with people is worth the monetary value we put on it, it becomes an even energy exchange. And so there's a solidness in our energy. When we're not feeling that way, it's kind of like, I hope someone buys this. I hope someone buys this. It's a wonky little vibrational frequency right there. And that's what I'm feeling. So make yourself really solid. Make sure you feel good about what you're offering. Know that you have room, what I'm hearing from your guides, to believe in yourself even more, and believe in what you're bringing to the table to help others. It has a lot of good energy around it. Whenever we are in business for ourselves, we are the engine for the car. Think about it that way, right? So we've got to show up, we've got to be solid, we've got to believe in what we're bringing to the table so that we have more people to share it with.
Perfect. And I think those are all the questions, but I have one last fun question for us.
Okay.
I love all the whimsical questions. So there is a female researcher and explorer trying to find Cleopatra's tomb. And when Cleopatra was alive, it was all about no man will find my tomb. So maybe that's up for a woman to find it. And people have questions all the time about, will this explorer find Cleopatra's tomb?
I am hearing yes, and I'm hearing in the next 2.5 to 3 years.
Perfect. There you go for all you history buffs out there.
Thanks for bringing something fun like that. You know why that's going to work too? Because she set an intention when she was getting ready to transition or whatever. There's an intention and there is power in the intention. So when she is saying that only a woman will find it, absolutely. It feels right. And it feels about 2.5 to 3 years away.
Perfect. Okay, well, those are all the questions we have today. We have a lot of people saying thank you in the chat, and it was so nice to be able to come up here and read questions. It was a great time for me.
Oh, thank you for your help, Aiden. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps us meet and greet and help more people. I am wishing you all a wonderful week ahead.
Thank you, guys. Bye.